Hello, amazing scholars. So we're starting our lesson on energy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the text for you for this time around because I'm going to model to you how I want you to read when you read this textbook. Also, please don't forget to add these new vocabulary words into your science notebook and write down the definitions that are highlighted. The first word is energy. Second word is kinetic energy, potential energy, thermal energy, chemical energy, radiant energy, electrical energy, and nuclear energy. So why is this important? Why should we even study what is energy? Because energy is involved whenever there's a change that occurs, when something goes from one thing to the other, when movement happens, when food is converted to energy, and so on and so forth. So energy is involved whenever changes occur. That's why it's important for us to understand what energy is. What is energy? The nature of energy. What comes to mind when you hear the word energy? Do you picture running, leaping, and spinning like a dancer or a gymnastic? How would you define energy? When an object has energy, it can make things happen. In other words, energy is the ability to cause change. What do the items shown in figure 1 have in common? So you have the pizza, the candle that's lighted, and the cars. Look around and notice the change that are occurring. Someone walking by, or a ray of sunshine that is streaming through the window and warming your desk. Maybe you can see the wind moving the leaves on a tree. What changes are occurring? So all these changes, scholars, even from these pictures here, involves energy. Energy is the ability to cause change. Okay? These objects cause change. And we'll talk about this in class. Transferring energy. You might not realize it, but you have a large amount of energy. In fact, everything around you has energy, but you notice it only when a change takes place. Anytime a change occurs, energy is transferred from one object to another. You hear footsteps because energy is transferred from a foot hitting the ground to your ears. Leaves are put into motion when energy in the moving wind is transferred to them. The spot on the desktop becomes warmer when energy is transferred to it from sunlight. In fact, all objects, including leaves and the desktops, have energy. Energy in motion. Things that move can cause change. A bowling ball rolls down the alley and knocks down some pins, as in figure 2A, right over here. Is energy involved? A change occurs when the pins fall over. The bowling ball causes this change. So the bowling ball has energy. The energy in the motion of the bowling ball causes the pins to fall. As the ball moves, it has a form of energy called kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is the energy an object has due to its motion. If an object isn't moving, it does not have kinetic energies. Okay, scholars, so things that are moving have kinetic energy. Kinetic energy and speed. If you roll the bowling ball so it moves faster, what happens when it hits the pins? It might knock down more pins, or it might cause the pins to go fly farther. A faster ball causing more change to occur than a ball that is moving slowly. Look at figure 2B. Here's figure 2B. The professional bowler rolls a fast-moving bowling ball. When her ball hits the pins go flying faster and farther than for a slower moving ball. All that action signals that her ball has more energy. The faster the ball goes, the more kinetic energy it has. This is true for all moving objects. Kinetic energy increases as an object moves faster. So here you have two examples, scholars. Here, the ball has kinetic energy because it's moving. So anything that's moving has kinetic energy, including this person here because they're moving. This ball that this professional person, baller, is releasing has more kinetic energy than this one would because she is releasing it with a lot more speed. So the faster something is going, the more kinetic energy it has. Also mass. You're going to find out that the size and how heavy something is also determines how much kinetic energy it has. Kinetic energy and mass. Suppose, as shown in figure 2C, which is this one, always look at the figures when you read, scholars. You roll a volleyball down the alley instead of a bowling ball. If the volleyball travels at the same speed as the bowling ball, do you think it will send pins flying as far? The answer is no. The bowling ball might not knock down any pins. Does the volleyball have less energy than the bowling ball, even though they are traveling at the same speed? So that's a question you need to think about. Here is a volleyball, and here is a bowling ball. If they are both traveling at the same speed, will they both hit the same amount of pins and send them flying? That is the question. An important difference between the volleyball and the bowling ball is that the volleyball has less mass. Even though the volleyball is moving at the same speed as the bowling ball, the volleyball has less kinetic energy because it has less mass. Kinetic energy also depends on the mass of a moving object. Kinetic energy increases as the mass of the object increases. Okay, scholars, so you learned two important concepts about kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is energy in motion, and speed makes a difference. The faster it's going, the more kinetic energy it has. The mass makes a difference. The heavier it is, the more mass it is, the more matter it's made out of, the more kinetic energy it has. So an object that is not as heavy will have less kinetic energy than the a ball that's heavier, like a bowling ball compared to a volleyball. So we will stop here, and in the next class, we will talk about potential energy. So right now, I want you to focus on kinetic energy, which is energy in motion. And there are two things that affect it, and that is kinetic energy when it comes to speed and kinetic energy when it comes to mass. Now, scholars, what I need you to do is I want you to go to the lesson of the week, and I would like for you to write down your notes. You do not have the ability to copy and paste the notes from my slide, so you have to write it down. Remember, writing it and typing it down is a form of studying.